process back a couple of months ago where we had a group from Ag, the regions, service design, and transportation trying to figure out how we would go about doing that. And Randy Knox and Dan Watts have been looking at the service standards that are already established for grain trains in the LDS system, the locomotive distribution system. There had already been in the Compass part of that standards established, and they're qualifying those standards to see how effective they are. So in taking a look at the standards for grain trains, once the train has been loaded, I think we're relatively close because I think the information is there. It may need to be fine-tuned. I think the biggest opportunity, though, is going to be in giving shippers information on when empties will be available. And we're farther away in that area from having something that's really good, I'm afraid, for a couple of reasons. First off, we don't have the information system support that we need there. And Harry Baldacini from your group is working with Mark Becker and a number of others on the development of a freight car distribution system that we think will be the key to giving us what we need there. Another thing that we lack is an operations infrastructure to really deliver that information to the customer the way we think that it effectively needs to be done. And something that we're working on is the development of a network of customer service centers across the system where you would have individuals that have specific account responsibility for all the transactions related to that customer. For example, you would have a clerk that would take all the customers' car orders, they would take all the customers' releases, take care of their spot information, notify the customer on loads coming in, empties coming in, and so on. And my guess is that we're probably a year away, and this is a real rough guess, from having that kind of an infrastructure established across the system. We will have it sooner in some places than others. Once that is in place, I believe we will have the wherewithal to do that from a human side, which is really, I think, probably the key thing in the whole process. The information system support will probably come later than that.
Thank you, Mark. One thing I'd encourage all of you to do is as you come up with ideas, suggestions, questions, points where you see that the standards have problems or flaws in them, feel free to call the Service by Design people directly. Work with our service coordinators or just call Overland Park directly because it really is an important area. And as Mark said, they really need a lot of input. Doing a great job, I think, from what I see, and really good leadership from Mark, and the whole group's working well, but they've got to have us telling them when there are problems, when we want something changed, and ultimately we'll be able to, I think, suggest changes that might be made in service standards and get a response from Mark and the group as to how complicated that would be, what else it might affect, and how much it might cost. And this is the type of interactive dialogue that we're going to have to get where we really need to, and I think this is an excellent